On January 1st, a big change will affect every public school bathroom and locker room in the state. The passage of AB 1266 guarantees transgender students the right to use the facilities consistent with their gender identity. For the next 3 nights, I'll be taking a look at how this law will affect our local schools and how people here are adjusting to the change, starting with opponents.
In August, the reaction came loud.
I strongly believe there will be cases of rape.
And clear.
We will not be told how, when, and where to raise our children.
Reaction to a new law that will allow transgender students to use the facilities consistent with their gender identity, including school bathrooms. After the governor signed AB 1266, parents flooded this Panama Buena Vista School Board meeting, angry and demanding answers.
It is the school's job to keep them safe.
It's just going to open up a door for all kinds of dangers for our kids.
3 months later, many Bakersfield parents, like Lorenzo Montesino, are still frustrated.
I'm fearing that other kids would abuse the policy and maybe even adults abusing the policy.
Lily Ramirez echoes those concerns. While not a parent herself, Ramirez says she fears for the safety of her nieces and nephews.
What if someone that isn't transgender and decides he wants to go into the bathroom because he's curious, and maybe something even worse can happen?
Panama Buena Vista School trustee Dean Haddock says he believes the law is a distraction from what he considers more important issues.
The kids need to be learning how to do better math, more reading, those kinds of things. They don't need to be worried about who's going to be going to the bathroom with them.
But Haddock isn't just a school district trustee. He's also chairman of the Kern County Republican Party, a group actively opposing the new law. And Haddock is a clinical psychologist who claims, based on scientific data, that catering to transgender students is unnecessary.
Most kids outgrow this anyway. If you don't support it for them to do it or not, most of the time they just outgrow it.
But isn't that a hard sell when you have, say, a 16-year-old student who just wants to go to school? They don't feel they're outgrowing anything. They are who they are, and they just want to get an education.
I think they'll get their education regardless. Most of them have learned how to go to school without drawing that kind of attention on themselves.
Despite his personal and professional opinions, Haddock says he believes he can represent all students and uphold the law when it goes into effect January 1st.
Whether it's an intellectual thing, a developmental thing, we have to protect all of our kids. And the law is the law. We do have to support it.
I'm a boy, so I shouldn't be in the women's bathroom. I feel like that's me invalidating a women's place.
And tomorrow night on 23 ABC News at 6, you'll hear from one transgender teen who says he believes the new law will keep other kids like him from dropping out of school. Hear why he thinks AB 1266 could have changed his own academic future. That's Wednesday on 23 ABC News at 6. And if you'd like to join the conversation on this, just go to my 23 ABC Facebook page and share your thoughts about this new law. When AB 1266 goes into effect January 1st, transgender students will have the right to use the school bathroom that matches their gender identity. Last night, opponents explained why they fear for students' safety and why one psychologist believes it's even unnecessary. Tonight we hear from one transgender teen who says this is one law that could have changed his entire school experience.
Kid, a lot of they didn't really they thought I was really weird.
17-year-old Dean has identified as a transgender boy as long as he can remember.
And they didn't want to be around me. I didn't have very many friends when I was a kid.
So he'd often try to fit in.
For a while I did start conforming to more gender norms, and I had more friends then and I fit in well, but it wasn't really me. So then when I stopped doing trying to be someone else, then that kind of also alienated me a little bit more.
2 years ago, while attending Stockdale High School, Dean decided public school was not where he belonged.
A lot of anti-LGBT slurs were always thrown around in the hallways. Things were said about me, and things were people make rude hand gestures at me about being queer, I guess.
So he quit and started attending high school online. Today, Dean says he's become more comfortable with who he is, partly because of groups like this, the Youth Empowerment Pride Project, a group dedicated to informing teens of their rights and encouraging them as they make difficult decisions.
The person I called said they weren't the advisor and they didn't know who the advisor was.
For Dean, AB1266 is a significant step toward helping transgender students feel comfortable at school. And it's a change that he says could have made a difference in his own educational choices.
Because for a while I really wanted to go back to public school and do the traditional school and have those school experiences. But the idea of having to use female facilities and not have my gender recognized. I'm a boy, so I shouldn't be in the women's bathroom. I feel like that's me invalidating a women's place.
As for concerns expressed by parents that other students' safety and privacy could be compromised, Dean says he can't imagine any transgender student violating another student's rights.
I mean, when you go to the bathroom, you're just going to go to the bathroom. You're not going to look at anyone else or do anything. You're just going to the bathroom.
And he has serious doubts that any non-transgender student might try to abuse the policy.
There's already a huge stigma of being transgender, and I don't if you actually are transgender, I don't think that a non-trans kid is going to claim to be trans just so they can go in the bathroom because of the social stigma that has behind it.
Our transgender girls use the girls' bathroom, the girls' facilities, have girls' names, wear girls' clothes, that type of thing, and similarly for our boys.
And Thursday night on 23 ABC News at 6, how we can expect our local school districts to implement this new law. We'll hear how the LA Unified District has handled a similar policy for the past 10 years and how that experience may or may not affect what we see here. That's Thursday night on 23 ABC News at 6. And if you'd like to join the conversation on this, just go to my 23 ABC Facebook page to share your thoughts. For the past 2 nights, we have looked at the bathroom battle being waged over AB 1266, the new law that will allow transgender students to use the bathroom or locker room that matches their gender identity. Tonight, we conclude our report with how local school districts might implement this law and where they're looking for guidance.
Maybe something even worse can happen.
It's just going to open up a door for all kinds of dangers for our kids.
Opponents have made it clear allowing transgender students to use the bathroom of their choice is not a change they can accept.
It's their babies, so they're very concerned.
Kern County School Superintendent Dr. Christine Frazier says she understands parents' fears and frustrations.
I'm not saying that everyone accepts this concept, but that they be willing to work with their schools to make sure that all our kids feel comfortable in the learning environment.
The County Superintendent of Schools' office does not have the authority to set policy for individual districts, instead offering guidance on how to implement change. Some of that guidance comes from talking to other districts that have had similar policies on the books for years.
Our transgender girls use the girls' bathroom, the girls' facilities, have girls' names, wear girls' clothes, that type of thing, and similarly for our boys.
Judy Chasen is Program Coordinator for Human Relations, Diversity, and Equity for the LA Unified School District. She says in the 10 years since the district established a policy, not a single conflict has been reported over transgender students using a particular bathroom.
99% of the time, nobody knows that this child is transgender.
And the LA Unified policy is fairly straightforward. Students may simply use the bathroom consistent with their gender identity. That blanket approach is not what Dr. Frazier is advising.
So I've been advising school districts to be careful before they actually sit down and write a policy, to really look at it on a case-by-case basis.
As for concerns that non-transgender students might take advantage of the new law, neither Frazier nor Chasen predicts that will happen.
So far in the 10 years, I've never had that. But because of this publicity, if somebody does try to pull it off, we'll address it.
What both women are asking of parents is to get informed and to ask questions.
Most of our transgender students, what they want more than anything is to just go to school like any other child. So they're not going to draw attention to themselves like that.
They need to see how they truly will react to a specific child, not to a political issue. And I think that will resolve a great deal of this.
So what do the people who will be most affected by this new law think about it? Students who will actually be sharing the facilities with transgender boys and girls. We visited a local high school earlier this week for a little feedback.
If they want to be known for being a girl or a guy, I feel like people should support it as much as they support, themselves.
If it should be like equal, everyone should use the bathroom that they have to use.
It doesn't really affect me, but if someone used the bathroom, I wouldn't care.
As long as they're not, doing anything wrong, it wouldn't matter.
Guys can dress up as girls, and then teachers probably won't even care, and then they'll just they'll be in our dressing rooms and our bathrooms.
And if you've missed any of this week's series, just go to our website, turn23.com, or download our mobile and tablet app. Also, you can visit my 23 ABC Facebook page to join the discussion.